Tomar, a city built by knights, shaped by centuries of history, and currently trying to drown me. It had been raining all morning, so I did the only thing that made sense. I waited in a coffee shop and took pictures of my bike jersey, completely unaware that within the hour it would be drenched in absolutely unusable. And then, a break. The rain stopped, the streets dried up. I thought, alright, this is my moment. So I grabbed my gear, hopped on the bike, and rolled out of Tomar, feeling pretty good about myself. For the first time that day, things were actually going my way. The first landmark I passed once I left Tomar was this bridge, Ponte de Peniche.
Alright, so we have our first major stop here. This bridge was built in 1417, and it was called the New Way to Coimbra.
So you can imagine how much time this must have saved, since they are still marketing it now. And much like those old merchants and pilgrims, I was thinking that with this new bridge, I wouldn't be getting wet anymore. I was wrong. So now at this point, I'm miles from town, no shelter, no plan, just me, and the rain began to pour down.
Very, very much raining right now. I need to find somewhere to just relax.
At this point, the only way out was forward. And then finally, salvation. A medieval cathedral, a beacon of hope, a place with walls and a roof where I could just sit and wait for the rain. And wait, and wait, and wait. I think I might have stayed here for an hour or two. I sit there soaking wet, contemplating life, waiting for my brain to start working again. I was freezing at this point.
I know that there's a German saying that's something like, you're not made out of sugar, right? Basically means, you're not going to die if you go in the rain. But do they have a German saying for my bags are not waterproof? Did you think of that? This leads me to my first tip of the day. Invest in waterproof bag. I probably would have kept going if I hadn't worried about everything in my bag getting completely ruined. Well, I don't even think I'm going to make it anywhere close to Coimbra today. Which will lead me to tip number 2. Download this weather app from Germany. It is amazing.
I could not recommend this app more to anybody, and it is the most accurate and free that I have found. And I can promise you that it's not sponsored, as I have 160 followers today. So please like and subscribe. Maybe one day I'll be peddling stuff to you, but not today. Take for instance here, I was able to see a 15-minute break in the rain, which I took to get a little bit further to at least a coffee shop where I could eat and have a snack and have a proper shelter. In this coffee shop, I got another Camino stamp, and I heard the most hilarious conversation between these two old men, scrolling through their Facebook feed. He said he only wanted old ladies, and this lady was far too young. Look at those grandkids. They were very young, and he couldn't do that. And finally, roads are drying, and for once, things actually look
ridiculous right now. Rain has officially stopped. Ah! Look at that sun. I'm just so happy. I'm freezing. Had to change my clothes. Ciao. Obrigado. Esse lugar é chamado quê? Soyanda. Tá bem. Muito obrigado.
But of course, as soon as I really got into it, I heard a massive hissing coming from my tire. But this is where tip number 3 comes in. Go tubeless. Honestly, it is the best MVP of this trip so far. I don't think I've changed my tire truly in over a year. And this was the ultimate test, because tubeless tends to have a lot of issues with rain. But I made it. As the sun started dipping behind the hills, it became painfully clear. I was not making it to Coimbra. No way, no how, not at all. So unless I suddenly developed a superpower, it was just not happening. I looked up on maps and found the nearest town I could and called it a day. And that's how I ended up in Alvaziere, basically by accident. At this point, my goal is simple. Find a roof, eat something warm, and not fall asleep face first into my food.
Now, my first plan was to go on booking.com and find a place, but then I saw the sign for an albergue, which is the traditional Camino housing. And this will take me to my final tip of the day. A crucial tip for anyone doing the Camino: take good care of your Pilgrim Passport. It is not only just for your certificate at the end, as this man asked me for mine to make sure that I was a true pilgrim. You won't get into these albergues without them. He starts with this inquisition: where am I from? Where are my parents from? I'm standing there dripping water, trying to remember my Portuguese. I honestly might have looked like a drowned rat at this point. Turns out he wasn't being mean. He was figuring out whether to place me with the English-speaking or Portuguese-speaking pilgrims.
Senta-te aí. Tá bem? Senta-te aí. Então, primeiro, vais beber uma bebida que nunca bebeste.
Oh, perfeito. O que é isso?
Surprise.
Surprise, okay, perfect. No surprise.
Vai, beber pouco a pouco. Tá bem? Pouco a pouco.
Oh, nice.
Sabes o que é?
É Porto? Não. É Porto, né?
Vinho do Porto Branco.
Ah.
Atenção.
He pulls out this ornate metal stamp and red wax. I'm thinking, is this an initiation ceremony? This wasn't your average stamp that I've been given. It was a work of art, thick, detailed, and made of wax, a tangible piece of the journey. I truly could not express how my first opinion of this man was entirely different once I saw that he was just a little bit quirky. And that was the magic of the day. Just when I thought I've had enough, it offered me unexpected beauty.
Trabalhas em quê?
Professor.
De quê? Português?
I truly didn't think I would have stayed in Albergue because I just didn't know how it even worked until I just happened to walk in and try. So just give it a shot. Before you book something, if you see an Albergue, try it out. And behind that gruff exterior was someone who cared about the journey just as much as I did. The Camino isn't just about the miles walked or the blisters earned. It's about these moments, the people you meet, the stories you share, and the surprises along the way. Despite the rain, the unruly hair, and the soaked clothes, I wouldn't trade this experience for anything. And tomorrow is a new day, with new stories waiting to unfold. Tomorrow we go to Coimbra.